to do your assignment 50 times without copying and pasting. That's the power of loops. Today, we'll start loops. One of the most powerful things you will learn in Java. Now, they help you repeat actions, automate tasks, and basically make your code smarter. Let's break it down. What are loops? Well, loops let us repeat code while a condition is true. Example, print hello 5 times without writing system.out.println 5 times. Okay, how do we achieve this? So it says loop lets us repeat code while a condition is true. Now, if we were to print hello 5 times from what we know, would say system.out.println. Okay, let's do it practical so you see what I mean. So if I wanted to print, okay, let's go to a new file called loops. Okay, so if I wanted to print, sorry, hello 5 times, I would say system hello world, and I would duplicate this 5 times. Okay, doesn't matter, but okay. So this is what I would do if I wanted hello world to be printed to my console 5 consecutive times. Okay, but this is cumbersome. This can be very tiresome and cumbersome when working with large data sets. So how could we achieve this just using maybe 3 lines of code? Let's see. Okay, so we could use loops, but how do we use loops? Before then, we need to know the types of loops we have in Java. So we have the for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop. So if you look at the image on the right hand side of your screen, you can see the types of loops all enclosed in our loops. So what does the for loop do, which is the one at the top of the image? So the for loop helps you um you use the for loop when you know how many times to repeat. So meaning, since we wanted to write hello world to the console 5 times, we could use the for loop and say, okay, I want to write hello world for 5 times, and at the end of 5 times, stop looping. Next up is the while loop. So you use it when you want to repeat until something changes. So I could say print hello for 5 times until the number is greater than 5, then stop. While the do while loop will always run at least once, then repeat. So do so something while this condition is true. So keep printing hello world while this condition that I'm still a student is equal to true. So that means it's going to keep repeating itself till when each student is equal to false. So we're going to see practical examples of this. Okay. So when to use what? This is a major question a lot of people ask. When should we use the do loop? The for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop? So, first of all, let's examine it. We use the for when the count is no. So, imagine I tell you to write a code that prints 10 tomatoes to your console, 10 tomato emoji to your console. So the count is known, the count is 10. You need 10 tomato emoji to your console. Okay, so the count is known. We use the while loop when the condition is uncertain. So I'm asking you to print 10 tomato to your console under what condition? The condition is not certain. So you could use the while loop if I told you to print 10 tomato to your console if while you're working. Okay, so the condition is not certain because you could stop working at any time. So I'll explain everything to you in details. while we use do while loop when you must run at least once. Okay, so one is used when the count is known, another when the condition is uncertain. Now, what is condition? If else statement. Okay, those things we put in our if else statement. If this is greater than this, do this. Okay, those are your conditions. Okay, then the third one is when you must run at least once. Okay, so now we're going to have practical aspect of this so that we'll understand. We'll be using many examples. Head over to IntelliJ or okay, so instead of printing this whole line of code right here, we could do something like this. So we could say for, so we're using the for loop, sorry, for, which is more better to use. So I'm going to type this out so you don't get confused. First of all, remember our way of naming variables. I'm going to put it in our loop. Instead of saying int I equals to 1, let's do it inside our loop so you can know we can also name variables inside your condition. So this is if int 1, which means we're declaring one I as integer to be equal to 1. Then since I is equal to 1, let us run I is lesser than or equal to 5. Then since I is lesser than or equal to 5, let's increment I by saying I plus plus. So I'm going to explain what I plus plus is and how it affects you. So, sorry, I'm saying 1 plus plus, I plus plus, and here's I. Okay, okay. So in Java, every syntax matters, okay? The way you write things matters. So what does this mean? It means I'm calling an int, I'm giving I a value of an integer, which is 1. Now I'm saying since I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to 5. So I is 1, it's less than 5, okay? And me adding equal to meaning I want I to increase up to the value of 5, so not below 5 of that meaning means 4, but no, I should increase to 5. So I'm saying I plus plus. I plus plus literally, okay, let's write this code in English. So what I'm saying I should be equal to 1. Now since I is equal to 1, I is sorry, since 1 is lesser than 5, then we're saying should be I is lesser than, sorry, I is lesser than or equal to 5, which means I, which means 1 should increase to 5, 5 on the dot, okay, and not below 5 because of this equal to sign. So if you should remove this equal to, it should increase to 4, which is below 5. But now we have the equal to sign. All right, so that is for the second. Now I plus plus basically means we're incrementing I, so it's like saying I plus I. So this is going to look weird, just saying I plus I. So just adding I plus plus does the same thing. So we're not repeating ourselves by saying I, even though we are repeating the plus plus, but just know it's a syntax, okay? So let's say, now let's do what we want this to do. So let's say we want it to print the hello world initially. So now in our for loops, we have one advantage. We have the advantage of getting I, which is this I we declared. Okay, we have the advantage of getting it back in our loop. So now let's go. Let's see how many times are we going to get it. Okay, we get hello world 5 times printed to the console. So let's put hello world number 1 so that you see it clearly. Okay, all right, let's just twist this. Let's tweak this a bit. Let's tweak this a bit. Let's tweak this a bit. Okay, let's leave it number 1. Let's tweak this a bit. Okay, so this becomes more meaningful. Okay, Just one bit of tweaking left. Okay, sorry, I turned on debugging by mistake. Let me just turn it off. Oops, it has finished debugging. Okay, so let's stop debugging. Okay, so now we can see I is number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. So you see, instead of writing this line of hello world 5 times, we get it printed to the console 5 times with just how many lines of code? 3 lines of code. Okay, that is super easy. Now, notice what I'm saying. If I remove this sign right here, what is going to happen? You see, it's no longer giving me 5 statements. So you need to understand how conditions work. So if you want exactly 5 statements on a dot, you have to put this equal to sign right here. Okay, now you see you get 5 statements written to your console. Now you could say I plus I is the same thing as saying I plus plus. Okay, so basically it won't work in Java, saying not a statement. Okay, so if you were to be using another language like JavaScript, then you could do something like that, saying I plus I, but follow the syntax. Okay, using the I plus plus, increment your I, the value of I. Okay, so okay, I think you could do I plus I. Okay, equals I. Okay, so let's just keep it simple. That won't work. So what can you do again? Okay, now you've printed 5 now to the console. So with just one line inside the loop, which is this line. So you can print as much as 50 if you want, if you so wish and you so desire. So you see, we have 50, and with the numbering, you don't need to count because it's already there. All right, so that's your loop intro. In the next video, we'll break down 4 loops and start making Java repeat smarter. So like this video if it helped you, and please sub for weekly Java drops. And please don't forget to loop this video or loop that replay button if you missed anything. Okay, that's the only way you could learn and understand more. So that's it for me. Peace.